They are done waiting, and they are coming toward you fast. There is a specific moment in every person's emotional life where holding back stops being protection and starts being loss. Where the careful, measured, self-preserving silence that felt like wisdom for so long suddenly reveals itself as this thing standing between you and what you actually want. Where the question shifts from, is this safe, to can I afford not to? Where staying quiet starts to cost more than saying the thing would cost, and the fear of speaking finally loses its argument against the fear of not speaking. That moment has arrived for this person. Something has changed in them. Quietly, then decisively. And what's on the other side of that change is movement toward you. With a directness and an urgency that has been building under the surface of whatever patience they have been managing and is now no longer willing to be managed. They are coming quickly. And when they arrive, you will know. The pace of someone who has waited long enough. Here is one of the most specific things worth understanding about how this will feel when it happens. They will talk fast, not in the nervous, stumbling way of someone who hasn't thought this through. In the urgent, compressed way of someone who has been thinking about this for so long, who has rehearsed this in their own mind so many times, who has been sitting on so much that needed to be said, that when the moment finally comes, the words arrive already formed and ready and unwilling to be delayed any further. You might find yourself needing a moment just to process the fact that it is happening while simultaneously trying to follow the speed at which it is happening. There will be a beat of pure cognitive adjustment. Oh, this is actually occurring. This person is actually talking to me like this, before you can fully settle into the substance of what they're saying. That pace is not a sign of instability. It is the specific velocity of someone who has decided and whose decision has been building for a long time before it became visible. And underneath the speed, underneath the words coming faster than you might expect, there is something very steady. Something that has been certain of you for longer than today. What they are actually saying. Let's slow down for a moment and talk about what this person's approach is really communicating. Because the words they use, and the meaning underneath those words are not always the same thing. What they will say, in whatever form it takes, is, I see you. I have been seeing you. I want to know if what I see is the beginning of something or the whole of something, and I need to ask because I cannot not ask anymore. They have felt the connection between you, whatever form it has taken, however it has existed in the time you have shared some proximity to each other's lives, and they have been deciding what to do with that feeling for long enough. They have been watching you, noticing things, accumulating a specific and detailed understanding of who you are that goes beyond surface impressions. And everything they have accumulated has been pointing in one direction, toward this conversation, toward the simple, brave, enormously vulnerable act of saying, I am interested in you. In the real, long-term, what are we building kind of way. In the I want to be in your life properly kind of way. In the way that means I have thought about this seriously and I am not here for something casual. The quality that makes them different. There is a thing this person carries that is worth naming specifically because it changes the entire texture of what this interaction will feel like. And it is not the most obvious thing. It is respect. Not performed respect, not the kind that shows up at the beginning of interactions and disappears when things get complicated. Foundational, structural, non-negotiable respect for your autonomy and your right to choose your own life. If you were not as so interested, if you heard their approach and felt nothing that matched the feeling they were bringing, they would hear that. They would receive it without argument, without wounded ego, without the particular unpleasantness of someone who confuses I care about you with I own access to you. They would say, in whatever words fit the moment, I understand. Thank you for being honest. And they would mean it. This is rarer than it should be. We live in a world that has normalized persistence in romantic pursuit to a degree that has made many people, maybe including you, develop a quiet wariness around being approached. An anticipatory tension about what happens after you two say no, whether the no will be honored or whether it will be treated as an opening bid in a negotiation. This person is not a negotiation. What they bring is an offer genuinely held open and genuinely closable by your honest response. And the fact that they carry enough self-respect to be okay with told no, to understand that love that has to be convinced into his existence is not the love worth having, is itself one of the most attractive things about them. You will feel the difference. When someone approaches you from a place of genuine respect rather than ego, something in your body registers it before your mind has a chance to analyze it. A relaxation, a lowering of the particular vigilance that certain kinds of pursuit activate, a sense of, oh, this one is safe. Why? Your authenticity is what drew them. Here is something that is worth pausing to fully absorb because it speaks directly to who you are and what this person has been responding to. The qualities you carry, the sensitivity, the empathy, The genuine warmth that shows up not as performance, but as the actual texture of how you engage with the world. These are the things that brought this person to the threshold of this conversation. Well, not in spite of those qualities. Because of them. And I want you to receive this without immediately deflecting or minimizing it. You are someone who makes other people feel genuinely seen, not managed, not handled, seen. And the experience of being seen by someone like you leaves an impression that people don't easily forget or replace. This person has not replaced it. They have been carrying it, and it has been growing, and now it has grown large enough that they have to do something with it. The version of yourself that you might sometimes feel uncertain about. The depth of your feeling, the openness of your empathy, the spiritually attuned quality of your awareness. That version is not a liability here. It is the entire reason you are having this reading. It is the entire reason this person is coming forward. Your sensitivity is not too much. It is exactly enough for someone who has been looking, whether they knew it or not, for exactly that. The deep realization here is the insight at the center of all of this. The one that when it finally settles into you completely, shifts not just how you understand this incoming connection, but how you understand yourself within every connection. The right person will not make you feel like you need to be less in order to be lovable. They will make you feel like your fullness is the specific thing they came for. Most of the difficult relational experiences you have been through that left marks, the ones that taught you to hold yourself carefully, the ones that made you wonder at some point whether your depth or your sensitivity or your particular way of being in the world was simply too much. Those experiences were not evidence of your excess. They were evidence of mismatch, of your abundance encountering a container too small to hold it. This person's container is the right size. They have been shaped by their own experiences and their own growth into someone who can recognize the value of what you offer rather than feeling threatened or overwhelmed by it. They have arrived at the place where they know what they want, and what they want is real and deep and specifically you. What they are building toward. This person is not approaching you for something undefined or temporary. The intention behind the fast words and the direct communication and the willingness to be honest about their feelings is something long-term in its orientation. They want to settle down, not in the resigned, finally giving up on something better sense that the phrase sometimes carries. In the genuine, I have found what I was looking for. I want to build something real sense. They want a future. Specifically, a future that includes you as a partner, as a constant, as the person they grow with, rather than simply the person they are enjoying in a particular season. And the progression they are imagining is not just romantic. It is practical. They want to build something. To be a presence in your life that makes things easier rather than harder. To be the person who picks up weight rather than adding to it. Who initiates rather than always waiting to respond. Who shows up with the energy and the intention and the consistent daily commitment to being genuinely, practically, actively good for you. This is someone who has thought about partnership as something you do together. Both people contributing, both people showing up, neither person carrying the whole thing while the other coasts. They have been on the receiving end of relationships where the weight was distributed poorly, and they know what it costs. They do not want to be that for you. The choice that is yours here is perhaps the most empowering and most quietly important thing this reading has to offer. None of this, none of the incoming communication, none of the genuine feeling, none of the intention toward commitment and building and long-term partnership takes your choice out of the equation. If anything, it places your choice at the very center. This person will come to you with an offer. Clearly, honestly, with the particular courage of someone who has decided that the risk of rejection is worth taking because the alternative, not knowing, not asking, letting this slip past without finding out is worse. And then it is yours. Entirely yours. The direction this goes, the pace at which it goes, whether it goes at all. These are decisions that live with you. You are not being swept into someone else's plan. You are being met by someone who is willing to make themselves vulnerable in front of you and trust you with the answer. That is an act of genuine respect, and it invites you into an equally genuine response, whatever that response honestly is. What comes after? If you say yes, if what this person brings matches something already alive in you, if the feeling they have for you finds an echo in how you have been feeling, what follows is described as something genuinely beautiful. A relationship that grows rather than stagnates. A connection that becomes more rather than less over time. Two people building something real in the specific, satisfying, unglamorous, deeply way that actual long-term love gets built. Through consistency, honesty, mutual support, and the quiet daily choice to keep showing up. It is not perfect. Nothing that lasts is perfect. But it is real, and it is mutual, and it is the kind of thing that becomes the foundation of a life rather than a memory in it. They are coming. They have waited long enough. And whatever you feel, Whatever you decide, whatever answer you arrive at when the conversation finally begins, are going to be met with respect for that answer. Because this person knows that love, to be worth anything, has to be freely given. And they are betting with everything they have that it will be. Dear soul, before you leave, don't let this moment become just another video you watched. If these words stirred something deep inside your heart, it wasn't by accident. Heaven wanted you to hear them. Right now, place your hand over your heart and declare these words with faith. I am chosen. I am deeply loved. I am not forgotten. God is working behind the scenes for me. My love is divinely guided, and my story is far from over. Say it again, and then say it one more time until every doubt loses its voice and every fear begins to fade. Let these words become the foundation you stand on when life feels uncertain. Remember, what God has spoken over your life cannot be taken away. His promises never fail, even when you cannot yet see them. If this message touched your soul, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with silently hurting, someone who feels abandoned, someone who has almost given up believing that God still sees them. Your one share could become the answer to someone else's prayer. You never know whose life God is waiting to change through your simple act of kindness. And if God places it on your heart to help us continue spreading these prophetic messages of hope, faith, and encouragement, you can support this ministry through a super thanks. Whether your gift is $5, $10, $20, or whatever God leads you to give, know that every offering helps carry His message to hearts that desperately need His light. May the Lord bless you beyond anything you could imagine. May He open doors no one can shut. Answer the prayers what has been broken. Answer the prayers you've cried in secret, and fill your home with His peace, His favor, and His unfailing love. Thank you for being part of this growing family of faith. Together, we are reaching hearts, restoring hope, and reminding the world that God's love is still changing lives every single day.
Okay, I don't know what it is. I just feel like you can tell so much about a woman's piece by how her hair feels and looks. My hair has never felt so soft and so luxurious and just so like I just can run my fingers through it. My point of even sharing this message is the fact that you are stepping into a time period where your life becomes all about you. It no longer becomes about how can you achieve this? How can you prove this? How can you earn this? It literally becomes about how can this serve me? How can this add to my life? How can this uplift me? How can this give to me? And it's not that you're out here saying, let me take this from you. Let me get this from you. Let me manipulate. It's none of that energy. It's genuinely just, I'm so at peace with myself. I'm so at home in my own energy. And if somebody crosses paths with me, how can this be in service of my greater good? And in return, how can this bless you? It's not like this one-way street. Because truthfully, the way that you are showing up in your life, the way that you are being asked to show up in your life, anybody who crosses paths with you and honors you and sees you for who you are will be blessed, not only by your presence, but because of the person you are, because you are somebody who gives with your entire heart. You are somebody who loves with your entire being. You are somebody who would give the shirt off of your back as long as you are wearing a bra underneath to somebody who needed it. And that part that I just said is important, because you're no longer just giving the shirt off your back and exposing yourself and leaving yourself vulnerable. You're saying, okay, I have this going for me. I'm good underneath this. Yeah, I can give you my shirt. Of course, no problem. No problem. But you made sure that you were good first. And that is a difference between the way that you are showing up in your life now and the way that you were familiar or used to be familiar with showing up in your life. Because from a very young age, you were conditioned to give the shirt off of your back and leave yourself fully exposed. You were conditioned to sacrifice, to overgive, to earn, to prove. You were conditioned to believe that you were not worthy of love unless you gave something of yourself for it. And now, in this season of your life, you realize that you are worthy of love because of who you are. And from that place, you can overflow into this world. You can overflow. You have the power to genuinely change people's lives with your presence. But only if they really see you and honor you for who you are. It's not transactional. It's not conditional. You're finally respecting the energetic harmony, the law of this universe, this unspoken law of what you receive, what you give, you receive. What you are, you receive. You are finally tapping into this time period where you realize, oh, I have the power to see this world differently. I have the power to show up in my life differently. I have the power to be the change first and then watch the change happen all around me. And the better I become at this, the more powerful this type of experience becomes in this world, because not only are you raising your frequency, not only are you embodying a deeper truth of divine spirit within you, but in doing so, you are also altering. You are changing the frequency of the world around you. You are healing this world when you heal yourself in this way. Even just that simple knowing that, yes, you will give the shirt off of your back, but not if it leaves you exposed and vulnerable to a world that you know is not kind to somebody who does not have that sense of safety and security within themselves. And yes, oftentimes it is. My God, you have been so taken care of. But it's really important to understand that also sometimes it isn't. And that's discernment. That's wisdom. That's not you deciding to see the world badly, or you deciding to project out into this world that that's what you desire to experience. No, that's you actually understanding that there are so many different currents of energy moving through this world, so many different energies that other people are existing in, that if you cross paths with and you are not secure within yourself and you are not confident in who you are or knowing of who you are, that will impact your life, but it doesn't have to anymore. And you're at that point where you get to decide, you get to choose. Do I allow this energy, this person, this experience to come closer to me? Or do I let this be over here because I got a little close to it and I realized I don't like how that makes me feel. I don't feel like that supports me. I don't feel like that honors me. You are gaining spiritual discernment, holy discernment, I almost want to say, divine discernment. And it is going to benefit you in this next season of your life. You are going to rise. You are going to rise in a way that you never have before. You are going to be seen and experienced by this world in a way that you never have before, because you are experiencing yourself in a way that you never have before. And you are making those choices every day to experience yourself in a new way, in a new light. I almost don't want to say new, because it's remembering who you actually are underneath everything the world tried to convince you that you are. So you're ready to rise, to be seen. And if you resonate with this message and you would like to join my upcoming full moon ceremony in just a couple of days, here, comment RISE, and I will share all of the details with you. This offering is only available inside my Angel Archetype Society, where it is safe to truly reveal everything that you are, where it is safe to come home to who you are, where it is safe to cultivate that power and that strength to move confidently and securely through this world as who you were always born to be. Very starseed energy coming through. Comment rise and I will send you the details, and I hope to see you there.